Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to AFL NT. You're watching the coverage of the 23-24 TIO NTFL season. We're here for preliminary finals action of the Men's Premier League competition from TIO Stadium in Darwin on Larrakia country. Tonight, Minor Premiers takes on St Mary's takes on Southern Districts. My name is Nick Danks. I'm joined by my commentary partner this evening, Rob Cross. Rob, how are you?
Good, thanks, Nick. Looking forward to this game. Some real stars in both lineups, and great camera work there to get right in the toss. You could almost see whether it was a tail or a head. Southern Districts won the toss. Dean Staunton, their captain, and they're kicking to the airport end here at TIO Stadium.
Yeah, the ground looks in fabulous condition. The temperature looks really good. The breeze is just slightly going across the ground, so favouring neither end. St Mary's come in tonight's game after 11-point loss to Nightcliff last week. Tigers were 5 goals up in front at quarter time. The Saints got back into it to 1 point halfway through the second quarter, but a couple of late goals was enough for the Tigers to go through the grand final. But Southern Districts have been outstanding in their 2 finals games, defeating Pint by 26 points in the elimination final, and reigning premiers last week, Waratahs, by 52 points. So they come into this game in really good form, Rob.
They do, and we just saw Dylan Lant there just on screen inside the St Mary's huddle, the captain of St Mary's, one of their star midfielders who Southern Districts will have to really clamp down on tonight. He's one of the favourites for tomorrow night's Nichols medal. And in the other camp, in the Southern Districts camp, former AFL player Jed Anderson, who was at a few AFL clubs, of course, Hawthorn, North Melbourne, little stint at Gold Coast. He's one of the favourites as well for that best and fairest award in the NTFL. So some real stars in both lineups. A big out, though, for Southern Districts, Nick. Nakia Cockatoo, the former Geelong and Brisbane player, is out for family reasons, and so he'll be lost. But they do get a really big in. A guy called Sam Smith, who's at Sturt. He's had 4 knee reconstructions over the years, but at his pomp about 6 or 7 years ago, he helped Southern Districts to a premiership. He's an absolute star. So keep an eye out for number 5 for Southern Districts. Hasn't played AFL, but a really good player. But we keep an eye out for some AFL experienced players in Southern Districts. Jared Brander, of course, who played at West Coast and the Giants. I mentioned Jed Anderson. And for St Mary's, they've got a guy called Joel Garner, not the tall West Indian fast bowler, but Joel Garner, who had a stint at North Melbourne. So some AFL flavour in tonight's game. And
a couple of standouts having great first seasons for Southern Districts. Stanley Waistcoat has been a star this year, so look out for him. But up front, both sides got firepower up there. St Mary's got Jackson Coulter's kicked 65 goals for the season, and Southern Districts got Jared Brander, another star for the season, scoring 69 goals. And actually the top 20 goal scorers of the season, St Mary's got 4 players in the list, and Southern Districts have got 6. So this should be a big score on tonight, hopefully.
Yeah, you mentioned Stanley Waistcoat, one of the best names in footy, I reckon.
Absolutely.
And a star to match. He's got Roy George up there as well on the half-forward line, so real firepower for Southern Districts to go with Jared Brander up there. And as you mentioned, the St Mary's team as well, big Tex Cordeffa and Jackson Calder. But Jake Tower it is in ruck for St Mary's, and he will be up against Matthew Dennis, who's a brilliant player, real journeyman, plays all around the country, but one of the best ruckmen not playing AFL football, as the handball is squeezed out to Nate Paredes, who kicks up towards half forward. Excellent mark at the second attempt by Slee, and he's on the dangerous Jack Lant, number 10 for St Mary's. He's a tough dour half-forward flanker, as Slee for Southern Districts goes out wide looking for Matthew Dennis, and he marks strongly in front of his opponent there in Luke Davies, giving away a bit of size, and Dennis was just too big and strong. He pumps it up towards left half forward. Out comes the lead there from Brander. He's a long way from the goal square, about 60 out. Maybe this setting sun could cause a few problems depending which way you're looking in at it as the ball clears the pack. Ross is dangerous. He's got it in the pocket. He's normally pretty clever. Switches it back out at Dylan Barry, I should say. It's smothered though, and the ball goes out of bounds, and smothering that ball was Harrison Ling.
And while it's out of bounds, your tip for tonight, Rob?
Southern Districts just, but without Nakia Cockatoo, the margin is closed. I reckon under 10 points the Crocs.
Yeah, I'm the same here. I'm just fallen in love with the Crocs the last couple of weeks, and let's see how they go tonight.
It's dangerous to fall in love with a Croc, Nick. In it comes Toa, works his way to the front. He had no competition really in the end, and spiked it away towards defensive 50. Hands and knees, the handball comes out to Michael Bowden. Toa flies high. He's been busy early. Dylan Barry comes up with a footy. He quick snap on goal, and just away for a behind, the dangerous Dylan Barry.
Yeah, very quickly got that ball then and was very unlucky. Just took the wrong bounce as it can with the Aussie rule ball, but came out pretty strong already, Southern Districts, and St Mary's want to be careful the same thing doesn't happen to what happened last week when they got 5 goals behind in the first quarter.
So Jacob Long favouring the outer side here at TIO Stadium. In front, juggling mark is taken by Joel Garner, the former AFL player. Wonderfully skilled player, and a beautiful left foot kick about 60 metres to half forward, looking for Jackson Calder. He's got Mazzini for company. Mazzini did well to spoil it away. The ball comes tumbling out towards Cordefa. Double-handed tap. Was it a throw? Play on the call. Cordefa still fighting on hard. Here is Vallejo. Curls a little kick around, but well manned up in defence by Southern Districts. Dangerous kick. Here's Sam Smith. He gets around Ted Castle cleverly and dishes the handball off to Burgess. Burgess of the Crocs kicks it up towards the wing. Barry's worked his way there again. He's everywhere in the forward pocket on the wing. Comes to Ling, to Paredes. Paredes almost stripped of the footy by a powerful tackle from Jed Anderson. Anderson comes in hard there on Davies. Barry without it. Maybe high there on Burgess. Play on the call. Crunching tackle there on his opponent. Socket off the ground by Garner. Burgess all over his opponent there in Ling. The ball will be thrown up in the air in front of the Morris Rioli grandstand here at TIO Stadium. It's a pretty tough start here. No score, early stages. Dennis, Davies in front for St Mary's, marked strongly in front of Dylan Barry. Sliding by was Parnell, but he had Schwartz for company. And so Davies waits to deliver long towards half forward. In front, Vallejo, the smaller man, almost took the mark, Burgess, but only as far as Paredes. The busy midfielder for St Mary's kicks long off the chest of Calder, often gobbles those up. Cordefa is big and strong, bursts his way through the pack, kicks towards the boundary line. Here comes Jack Lant, the bustling Jack Lant, couldn't shrug the tackle, stood up in the tackle, but really his handball didn't go anywhere. He chopped it down then and maintains control at half forward. Now it's closed down for a ball up 60 metres out from St Mary's goal.
Did well there cutting that ball off from being on the ground, because they were pretty out there around the back there, Southern Districts then.
Building the background is the Michael Long Leadership and Learning Centre here. So some big names wrapped around TIO Stadium. We're sitting in the Morris Rioli grandstand. Kicks towards centre half back. Spiked down. Garner goes past it. Paredes has been good. Off to his dangerous co-midfielder in Lant. He squeezes a kick near the top of the goal square. Out comes Calder. Beautiful pick-up. His handball didn't quite match the one-touch pick-up. Hands and knees, Dylan Lant. Comes out to Dean Staunton. He's a firefighter by day. Jack Lant. Dylan Lant just gets boot to ball, and it goes out of bounds before the St Mary's player could scoop it up.
Not giving him a moment's rest, as you wouldn't expect as we get started in the first quarter here in the prelim final. Southern District's very hard at the ball at the moment.
Just off screen, Benjamin Brown is limping off for St Mary's. It's tossed back into play in the left forward pocket. Cordefa leaps high over Dennis City in fringe. Play allowed to go on. Paredes just put his big body in the way, bashed his way through, picked up the crumb, and the first goal of the night to St Mary's. Paredes has started strongly, and St Mary's team get the first goal of the night.
He's had a couple of touches, Paredes, early in the game, and split in the middle of the ground and pinched that one there as we wait for the replay. That St Mary's player went straight down into the change room, limping, looked like an ankle the way he was coming off, as we wait for the replay here from the boundary throw-in.
Yeah, he just barged his way through, didn't he?
Yeah.
Cordefa, wonderful work in ruck, and he just smashed his way through his opponent there, and Delahaye grabbed the crumb. And that's the way Nate Paredes plays. And he's back in the middle, smashing into Dean Staunton. He's now standing beside Jed Anderson. So that'll be a good contest. Two hard-nosed competitors. Dennis up against Conway, who's come into the ruck to relieve Toa. Anderson squeezes the kick out wide. Just gets his teammate there in Bowden. Bowden's off. Lovely long ball, looking for Brander. Robinson did pretty well to work his way to the front. To the back of the pack, Jacob Long. He's quick. Got away from Brander. Courageous mark taken by Bowden, though. He wanted to play on, got the handball chopped down. He goes and gets the crumb, gives to Anderson, into the pocket. George marks, now has it swatted away. Has time to gather the bouncing footy. Wants Ross, gathers it on the half volley. Clever kick around the corner, doesn't quite get to his teammate on the full. That's Jai Bolton. Bolton is about to be tackled, slammed into the turf. Strong tackling by Garner. Play on the call. Players wrestle, pile on, 55 out from the Southern District's goal. Ball up.
Could have nearly been in the back then. The umpire just let them play footy, which is good to see, as he pulled up just outside the 50.
Up by Mark Noonan, one of our best up here in the NTFL. Tap down lane as far as Roy George. He's kicked a few goals already in the final series. Brander in front. Oh, Robinson did well, the smaller man, to reach around and spoil it away. Here's Kieran Parnell. Throws it on the left boot. Only as far, though, as Johnston. Johnston was besieged. Comes out to Bolton. Stanley. Bolton again. Into Staunton. Staunton centering ball. Who's he got? In front. Strong mark. Well done by Schwartz. Worked his body to the front. Held the drop of the football and clutched it to his chest. So Southern Districts a chance to hit the lead. The 7-minute mark of the first quarter in the NTFL preliminary final.
He's kicked a couple of goals this season on this ground at this end here, Schwartz has. So this will be a nice confidence booster for him in the side.
Yeah, such an important player for Southern Districts, the Crocs.
With the breeze, he's going to have to aim it at the right post.
He steps in now, stabs at it. He's done exactly that, Nick Danks. You've kicked many a goal from that half-forward flank yourself. It's a 1-point lead to the Crocs. 1-1 to one straight.
Good goal there by Bo Schwartz. A good mark, and it's nice to see that Crocs were going forward there in numbers. And a couple of little handy passes that just didn't hit the targets earlier in the piece, but certainly he did very, very well and just kept the ball moving forward.
Well, Johnston did well there, number 6, to control the footy initially, to set that play up at half forward. And then Staunton's kick was clever, small forward in action, and just protected the drop of the ball. Arched his back and took a strong chest mark.
So the Crocs in front by 1 point in the 8-minute mark of the first quarter here in the preliminary final in Darwin.
Wyatt Ryan goes in, number 15 for Southern Districts, to compete in the ruck against Conway. Might have been a high tackle there, and Dylan Land has infringed. So Jai Bolton's been in the action in the last couple of minutes. Out to Jed Anderson. 3 AFL clubs, kicks in towards the pocket. Out comes Dylan Barry, got hands to it, had it knocked away by Ling. Ling gets the bouncing ball at ground level. Off to his teammate, out to Sauter. Near the wing, Slee for company. Slee comes up with the footy. Sauter wraps him up. Just got a legal handball away. Staunton had a few touches already. Ball thrown on the boot by Lant. Gains 40 metres towards half forward. Out comes Calder. Delahay's there. Cordefa stripped by Mazzini. Was he tackled without the footy? That's St Mary's player. Mazzini goes in strong again. Gets a scrubbing looking kick up towards the wing. Well done by Bolton. And as far as Sauter, though, his kick inside, attacking 50. And Delahaye does well to take the chest mark. So they're setting up well across half back, the Crocs. Forming a wall and denying St Mary's access. Out to the wing from behind. Brown's back on the ground, which is good to see. Spoiled it away from Sam Smith. On the bounce to Garner. Here's Jack Lant. One way then the other. He's excellent on both sides of his body. On the left boot, Calder. Had it knocked away by Mazzini. Vallejo comes up with the footy. Mazzini dives after it. Vallejo wants a piece of it as well. Oh, scooped up beautifully here by Burgess. And Burgess kicks to the wing. There's Waistcoat with a wonderful one-grab mark in front of Long. He goes short to Burgess. And they just steady things down the Morris Rioli grandstand wing. Good game of footy so far. Schwartz waits for the big men from behind. Robinson flew. Garner almost kept in play by Seth Harris, but the umpire decided it'll be a ball in. Came off hands. So boundary thrown between wing and half forward. With Southern Districts just into attacking to the airport end at TIO Stadium. Winner through to the grand final next week against Nightcliff. Of course, last week St Mary's going down to Nightcliff. They were the minor premiers, the Saints, but they lost by 11 points. The Crocs have been powerful in both their finals so far. Wyatt Ryan nudged off it by Toa. George of Southern Districts. Burgess, dangerous handball. Oh, Bariti's ducked under the swinging arm of George and then kicks in the Calder direction. He's worked his way to the front. 1 grab, 2 grab, 3 grabs, got it. Mazzini did everything he could, but Calder's such a smart player. He stabs it into the pocket. Beautifully weighted ball, not quite. Hands to it. Jack Lance, snap is just across the face and for a behind only. It's all tied up. 1-1-7, 11 and a half minutes gone first quarter.
He did well there getting the ball over the top. It just unfortunately didn't fall for Lant. He just got touched by the Crocs player all the way through, and stopped a certain goal there, you would think.
Yeah, team play by Jackson Calder, because he's a thumping kick. He could almost wheeled around and had a ping himself, but looked for the better option in the pocket. The Crocs defender just got a hand to it. Wyatt Ryan soccers off the ground, gains 30 metres, but kicks it straight down the throat of Will Robinson. Toa momentarily was considered, number 23. Maybe he should have been. He went down the line and kicks it down the throat of Michael Bowden, who's been busy.
He's had a couple of good touches tonight already.
Yeah, he's a good player, really smart player. He pokes it inboard to Schwartz, the goal scorer for Southern Districts. Up towards centre half forward, in from the side, Ling spikes it away. Chance for the Crocs. Good tackling there by Knight. Out comes Brando, collided with his teammate. Not much talking there. Ling goes back to Davies. Davies chopped down by George from 10 metres out. George slaps through a brilliant goal and bangs his chest. Superbly read the intercept. And George is such a dangerous small forward. He brings up the second goal for Southern Districts. They lead 2-1 to 1-1.
Yeah, he won't get an easier goal in the final series or probably all the next season, George, but he did well to cut that one off. As you can see again, Southern Districts just keeping the ball moving forward. Fell down here to a St Mary's player, and George just smothered it well and then kept his eye on it and said thank you very much and took the goal.
Brilliant reflexes, because Davies wasn't that far away and he kicked it pretty powerfully, looking to find his teammate over the top. George read it superbly. So exciting game. Great prelim, Nick.
Absolutely. Southern Districts currently leading the disposals well by 9 at the moment, 21 to 30.
Wyatt Ryan leapt early. Toa stayed down and won the tap. Jack Lance gone into the middle. Paredes controlling the ball in front. Tackled by Johnston. Thrown to the ground. Toa comes in. Somehow squirts out off a boot. Johnston superb. Off to Smith. Smith's kick up towards half forward. Here's George again. Couldn't take the mark. Nice little give. Kick by Schwartz in towards the pocket. In front, Barry had it spiked away by Ling. Ducked under the tackle. Gets the kick away, but only as far as Robinson was touched. Play on. Out it comes to Long, and Long finds Seth Harris, and that is diffused by St Mary's. The Southern Districts surged forward again. Harris. Ryan's coming in from the side. One grab, couldn't take it. It'll start to get probably a little slippery as the night descends. Bolton inboard, Johnston. And he pauses. He's got George free. He marks in front of Toa. Delahaye slides by. He's 60 out. He kicks in the waistcoat direction. It'll have to be a good mark. He just ran under the footy. Some pressure came from the St Mary's defenders. Ted Castle out to Sauter. Drops the chest mark. He's immediately got Cotter for company. He forces it up towards half forward. Slee on Lant and socket off the ground. Inside attacking 50 is a hold. It's got to come back. Umpire Mark Noonan rules that Dylan Lant will win the free kick about 85 metres out at right half forward.
Couldn't really play the advantage there, the umpire, because it looked like the Crocs guys were going to get to that ball first. It's come back a long way.
Lots of players favouring that forward pocket. He stabs it in that direction. Calder finds some room, slides in, marks on his chest in front of Mazzini. What a wonderful kick by Lant. About a 45-metre bullet. And St Mary's set that up beautifully. Created some space deep for Calder to run onto. And once he gets his hands on the footy, he rarely drops them, whether it's overhead or those sliding marks. He's a big man. He's about 6'5". Wonderful pair of hands and very accurate kick for goal. Tough shot though. Right forward pocket, couple of metres in from the boundary line, about 40 metres to level the scores again. Terrific prelim. Jackson Calder has just missed. Yeah, one behind only. Margin 5 points. Crocs lead.
He's kicked 65 goals this season. Of course, Brander at the other end kicked 69. So some firepower, as I said earlier, for both these sides.
Bolton brings the ball back into play. Has to twist away from Calder. He wouldn't give up on it. To the wing. In from the side. Great mark, Parnell. Over the top of Bowden. Kieran Parnell. Saw his sister play in the previous game, which is the women's preliminary final. St Mary's women are through to the grand final. Kicked in towards the pocket. Mark dropped. Calder there. Cordefa there. Still going, Calder. Overrunning it there was Burgess. Lant goes off the ground with a clever toe poke. Just had a little too much carry on it. He was trying to keep it in play. It goes out. Good result though for St Mary's. Still in their forward pocket.
Yeah, 1 goal, 2, 8 points to 2-1-13, 16 and a half minutes into the first quarter in the prelim final.
So the two rucks will go at it. Dennis in front of Cordefa, down to Bolton. Seth Harris running back of the flight courageously. Jared Brander's a long way down, number 19 for Southern Districts, the full forward, the ex-AFL player for West Coast and GWS. Number 34 there in the green and yellow, Joel Garner, ex-North Melbourne. As we wait on the ball to be tossed back into play. It's been a tough start to the preliminary final, as we expected. Minor premiers St Mary's going through strongly. There was Offerman's. Pretty good game last week in a losing side. Mazzine, number 18, in front of Vallejo, sees it out of bounds in the right forward pocket. So just a little bit of a lull in play, Nick, at the moment.
Absolutely. The two leading ball players on the ground at the moment. Bowden, of course, having a great one. He's at 8 possessions, and Paredes has had 8 as well. So both those guys have been busy this quarter.
Dennis, number 21 for Southern Districts, called a 24 there for St Mary's, do the ruck work. Johnson tried to go off the ground. Here's Paredes. Anderson comes in to tackle him. Lant was strong, gathered the half volley, low kick, had it chopped down. Well played there by Cotter. Only as far though as Lant from 50 metres, set sail. He's got lots of carry on it. Jack Lant has got the goal for St Mary's, and they lead by a point, 2-2 to 2-1. He's never out of the contest. And the ball bounced around the half-forward line for Saints, came back to Jack Lant. And whether it's left or right, if he's anywhere around 50 or 60 metres, you cannot count him out.
No, absolutely. He was never going to give up there. As you're watching the replay, he was in it right from the word go. Here he was with the ball early. Just got smothered from him. And then, of course, he's picked it up again. And from that distance, he's taken his time and kicked a few goals this season. And there's another one for him.
Can thank his brother Jack for laying the tackle that caused the turnover then. So good work by the brothers. Quite different in stature. Dylan plays in the midfield. Alina, as Jack plays across half forward, very strongly built. Dennis up against Conway. Dennis rips it out, but Conway does well. Just get a hand in there and spoil it away as Dennis was about to launch it into the Crocs forward line. Garner about to be run down from behind by Waistcoat. Gets the kick up towards half forward. Beautiful trap by Musgrove. Sidestepping his way through a couple of Southern Districts players. Then kicks long. Cordefa, can he get there first and sock it off the ground? Got boot to it. Just away to the left, or behind only. Excellent pressure coming from Delahaye of Southern Districts.
Pretty's got a knock there in the middle of the ground, and he's just looking a bit groggy, but he's still out there. Unlucky there with the bounce of the ball, but just keep an eye on him for the next couple of minutes or so just to see how he's going. But he went down fairly hard on that centre bounce.
Ball brought back towards the half-back line. Dennis in front. Waistcoat. Clever handball over the top to Bowden. To Bolton. Bolton towards half forward, open forward line. Brander, well played by Robinson. He's playing him in front. He's giving away quite a few centimetres. Great tackling there by Dominic Grant on Brander. And Brander respects the tackling. Not sure whether he helped him up or Grant just grabbed his jumper to help himself up there, but it will seem pretty fair. And well done by the smaller man to hold up the big giant forward. As Anderson, something's happened here. The umpire pointed one way and then he's gone back in Anderson's favour. So Jed Anderson of Southern Districts will kick in towards the pocket. Brander dropping back on the foot. He's not badly placed here, and he brings it in at the second grab. That time his size was too much with the carry on the footy, and Robinson was giving away too much height and size. Brander propped in the contest and brought it in.
The free kick was for Anderson running along by himself and some big shove in the back, so it was a blatant push in the back as he ran past and right in front of the umpire. So good decision.
Brander. He's kicked 8 goals in the 2 finals so far. Had 5 last week. Key player for Southern Districts. Tightish angle, about 45-degree angle, about 40 metres out. Gee, that's a lovely strike. Great goal by Jared Brander. It's goal for goal footy. Crocs back in front by 4 points. And, that's an unusual little ankle tap there. Pretty unnecessary. Bit of chesting then, and then one of the St Mary's players just stuck a leg. Not strong enough to warrant any further action, I wouldn't have thought, but not really necessary. And Brander has kicked his first goal of the night. It was Anderson who set that play up with that free kick. Kicked it to the much bigger man. And Robinson, who's done well to this point, tried to spoil it away. Brander had to sit, and then look at this kick. Beautiful goal from the angle.
Just beating for height and everything there. He's been playing really well, but that time the big full forward just got the better of him.
Toa up against Dennis. Dylan Lance wrapped up by Jed Anderson. Dean Staunton in there as well, number 4 for Southern Districts. Both these sides have really powerful midfields. As Toa gets a free kick over the shoulder, goes against Dennis. So Toa, the smaller man, may be making advantage of that height differential. Paredes belts it up towards half forward. Ted Castle's pace was excellent. Burnt away from Smith. Brilliantly grabbed from behind by Burgess. Is it holding the ball? Play on the call. Maybe a little bit unlucky. Now a free kick's been picked out. Advantage paid. It's going to Burgess. He sends it inboard to Dennis. Into the corridor was dangerous. Garner comes up with a footy. Schroer can't quite shrug Schwartz, who hung onto it and could set up Anderson, although Garner comes back in. Free kick for a hold without the footy. So some loose tackling here by St Mary's, but the intensity has lifted in the last couple of minutes. Both teams smashing in. And mistakes are being made in the contest, and Schwartz comes up with the free kick. Just defensive side of the centre here at TIO. NTFL preliminary final. It's a 4-point lead into time on of the first quarter. Schwartz. Dylan Lant has dropped into defence to help his players down there. Seth Harris wheels away and then pinpoint passing to the wing. Finds Musgrove. He's got the hard-running Harris. Takes a strong mark despite the heavy pressure from Stanley. Goes in towards the pocket. Cordefa. In from the side, Smith. Didn't get enough purchase on it. Cordefa loves a goal. He's on the left. And he snapped through another one for St Mary's. They're back in front. Excellent game of footy. Goal for goal footy. It's 3-3 to 3-1 as Cordefa gets his first.
It's the final we wanted at the moment. It's been a good game of footy this quarter. 3-3-21 to 3-1-19. 23 coming up for 24 minutes of the first quarter.
Lovely transfer of play by St Mary's. It was a good mark by Harris. It came under heavy pressure. And then just not getting enough purchase on that spoil. He could have spoiled it out of bounds. And Cordefa, for a tall man, is excellent getting the crumb and can kick on both sides of the body. So probably a mistake there by the Southern District's defence, just not spoiling it out of bounds.
Yeah, the opportunity there to clear it, didn't he, Sam Smith?
It's Toa. Bolton. Johnston now. To half forward. Clever by George. Nudged his opponent out of the way. Came to Ross. Big Wyatt Ryan on the left boot. Waistcoat in from the side. Comes to Brander for his second goal of the quarter. Well played by Southern Districts. The reply back within about 30 seconds. And the margin's back their way, 4 points.
They put some pressure on Brander when he's gone forward. Another bit of a shove there after the ball. They're just trying to take him off his game. But he's a big full forward. And the big smile on his face, 2-2 in the first quarter, will certainly help him. And again, a lovely handball there, just a couple of players loose. Waistcoat caused a bit of trouble and just fell right for Brander, and he snapped it away for his second goal. As you said, 3-3-21 to 4-1-25, 25 minutes into the first quarter of the prelim final.
Ethan Knight dropping that chest mark. It was a tough one. There's a bit of pressure down there. As we see Dylan Land, number 10, has gone into the middle, pushing and shoving with Dean Staunton of Southern Districts. Tossed back up, Ryan and Toa. Toa wins the tap, but right on quarter time, there'll be no more play in the opening stanza. What a great first term, Nick Danks.
Yeah, absolute beauty. 4 goals, 125, the Crocs to 3-3. St Mary's, stick with us. We've got a fabulous second quarter coming up here at TIO Stadium.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
'Cause I just wanna move, and you can come too. Yeah, that's me plus you. So tell me what we gon' do. 'Cause I just wanna move, yeah, you can come too. And all this time for the crew. So tell me what we gon' do. 'Cause I just wanna move, and you can come too. Yeah, that's me plus you.
Play your way. Sign up today at play.afl.
Welcome back. We're here for the preliminary final action of the TIO NTFL Men's Premier League competition from TIO Stadium. My name's Nick Danks. My commentary partner is eating Rob Cross. Rob, your thoughts on the first quarter of a great game of footy?
Oh, just about the game of the season so far, and you'd expect that being a preliminary final. Sometimes preliminary finals can be pretty dour events, but lots of goals, 7 goals, goal for goal. Each time, no team could really get that clean breakaway, and there was a quick response when one team got a 6-pointer, the other one bounced back at the other end pretty quickly. And we've seen the big forwards perform strongly. Jared Brander, the ex-Eagle and GWS forward, has kicked 2 goals for Southern Districts, and we've seen both Tex Cordefa and Jason Calder busy. Calder's missed one. Cordeffa's kicked a goal, but they're both dangerous targets up there for St Mary's.
Leading possession getters, Nathan Paredes has got 8 possessions and Dylan Lant has got 7. And for Southern Districts, Burgess has got 7 and Jai Bolton's got 9. So he's kept himself busy. Southern Districts leading the disposals and the tackle count, but St Mary's are leading it out of the centre and have got a couple of extra inside their 50s as well. But they're 4 points down on the scoreboard as we're just about to start the second quarter here in Darwin.
A couple of ex-AFL players side by side. 34 for St Mary's in the green and gold, Joel Garner, ex-North Melbourne, and a 3-club player, Southern District's Jed Anderson, who gets that kick away up towards half forward. He's a Southern District star, favourite for the best and fairest medal tomorrow night in the NTFL competition, known as the Nichols medal. Garner comes up with a handball. Southern Districts chop it down through Johnston. Ted Castle steps around Smith. Ted Castle's kick. It's a half forward. Big spoil over the top there came from Zach Smith. But it comes to Jack Land, who had a good first quarter. Anderson almost runs him down. Kicks a bit too high for Cordeffa. Back of the pack. Mazzini's got Calder for company. Calder's pretty quick for a big man. He's got Mazzini and he forces him out of bounds in the left forward pocket.
Yeah, that chase down from Anderson then forced that kick to just to be a little bit longer than he wanted to make it. And it was well done by Anderson, and then good defence there also for the Crocs.
A little bit of breeze across the ground probably. It often favours that airport end, the end to which St Mary's are kicking in this second quarter, but I don't think it's really having an impact on the game so far. Dennis. Brilliantly grabbed by Vallejo, and the kick across the face goes into the right-hand goalpost. Gee, read that well. Wonderful goal sneaks effort.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere for that one, and it surprised the Croc player as well, but luckily for him, it clipped the post on the way through.
Cotter to bring the ball back into play. Elects to go by hand over the top of Cordeffa. Gets it to Burgess. Breaks away from half-back and kicks toward the wing. Huge fly from George. Ran under the footy. Gets away from Ling, but his handball wasn't to an opponent, wasn't to a teammate. Soccering off the ground there by Ling was good. Burgess. Sweeping handball by Bolton. Johnston. Inboard to Bowden. He takes the mark and waits. Now he goes into the corridor. Dangerous kick here, although he just gets to Dennis. Toa came the other way, lays some heavy pressure late. A big body on big body, and Dennis has been paid the mark. Took a long time to get back to him. He's pleading for 50. Now he gets it. The umpire might have been talked into that a little bit. It went directly back to him in a very slow fashion. I'm not sure. Toa didn't seem to move on the mark, so it must have been the speed with which the ball came back.
Yeah, clumsy in the end, though. He turned on him and he was always going to get pinged when he did that. And then just the way it was given back to him, you're not allowed to do that. You've got to get it back as fast as you can, and umpire decided that the long high throw back wasn't good enough.
So this is for the biggest lead of the night, 9 points if Matt Dennis can kick this goal. Plays footy all around the country. His last stint last year might have been in Tassie, but lots of footy through Victoria. Directly in front, horrible kick, as he kept it in the field of play, or in through the big sticks and the little sticks he has. I thought it was out of bounds for a moment there, just a behind. So a 4-point lead when it could have been 9. Out it comes. Whistle's gone. Free kick to Dylan Lant. Dean Staunton infringing. Lant had a busy first quarter. Drives it to Musgrove. Musgrove looked inboard, decides to go long. Calder has front spot against Mazzini. Mazzini spoils it away. Garner, kick smothered by Dennis. And you get an idea of how much ground Matt Dennis covers when he had that last shot on goal and now finds himself up at the half-back flank.
Absolutely, because after he had the shot at goal, I thought he was running to the bench there for a second, but they pushed him back across the ground and he's pulled off that smother.
Supremely fit player. Buffeting with Toa. Wins the tap. Garner, Toa, through the legs of Bolton. Johnston loping away, waiting for someone to break further up the field. Finally gets that, delivers it beautifully to Brander. He's 70 metres out from goal though. Goes by hand to Johnston. Around Robinson, into the pocket. Lovely set up to Ross. Now, Jonathan Ross is a dangerous foil to Brander. Quite a few goals this season. Not a big-bodied player. He pokes a little pass in himself. The stretch there from Brander, couldn't bring it to ground. Barry's taken in a tackle by Robinson. And you can see Brander just saying, lower the pass, lower the pass. Yeah. I couldn't believe he had so much space. There was no St Mary's defender around him. And if in fact he had kept the ball low, Brander would have taken an easy chest mark. As over the top, Davies spoils it away. Bolton, tackled by Lant. Smashed outside 50. Well, Bowden's about to be tackled. He is tackled by Offermans. And they get away with it, St Mary's, through Dylan Lant. He kicks to Calder. Mazzini's got good pace. He's a good matchup for Calder. Maybe not quite as tall, but he's got the pace to go with him. And so far, Jackson hasn't kicked a goal.
Had a couple of opportunities, but he just hasn't finished one off yet. 3-4-22 to 4-2-26. 5-minute mark of the second quarter.
Dennis. Bowden, trapped by Anderson cleverly. Well done by Brander, got rid of Robinson. Bounce favoured him. Throws it on the boot. From behind was Sam Smith. Clever by Bolton, taps it in Smith's direction. Well bumped though by Brown. Brown's handball is good to Long. Wants to go to Parnell, does get there eventually. Ross did well just to hold him up momentarily. The one-handed bounce was clever. Parnell's kick to the wing. Might turn it over though. Zach Smith about to be tackled by Vallejo. Schwartz, he's got a player all alone short if he wants him. That was Bolton, goes longer instead. Brander spoiled away. Here's the dangerous George onto the right boot. George has two.
Yes.
Great goal by Roy George. It's the first goal of the second quarter and the margin out to a game high 10 points.
If you watch this again, you can see him talking to Brander saying just knock it forward if you can't get there. And it's exactly what he did. And as soon as that happened, George was quick to pick it up and pounce on it for the 10-point lead. As we watch it here in replay, good teamwork here to get it out of the middle. And he said Schwartz took his time and he just dropped out in front, waited for the bounce of the ball, and then from then on it was all over.
Yeah, very well balanced forward line, this Southern District side. The big target in Brander with Waistcoat and George buzzing around at the feet. Jonathan Ross, a dangerous target as well. Got all the right pegs in the right holes, this Crocs team. And they've got a handy 10-point lead. Wyatt Ryan, big body, quickly onto the boot from Anderson. Slap forward by Johnston to half forward. Beautifully gathered, falling to the ground by Schwartz. Socket off the ground by Knight for St Mary's. To the wing, Offermans. Good pressure from Cotter. Coming in over the top was George. Umpire will come in and ball it up.
All night the Crocs have just been keeping this ball moving forward when they've had the opportunities, and it's just putting pressure on this St Mary's defence a little bit.
Ryan, Conway, taken by Paredes. Cordefa, ball spoiled away. Whistle goes just as Burgess was about to run onto it, and it's a free kick to Cordefa. Would have been a hold in the ruck contest going against Delahaye. Giving away some size. This is the advantage of St Mary's with the two tall targets. Calder's the other one, from one to the other. And Cordefa delivers beautifully to Calder, who will line up for a goal to bring up his first for the night for St Mary's fans.
Yeah, betting for height there all along, and well, great delivery as well.
Plays down in the Mornington Peninsula during the traditional winter season in Victoria. For many years has plied his trade up here in the wet season, the NTFL competition. He's been a welcome addition to this comp. He's a star and he bangs through a goal. The margin is back to 4 points. So a 10-point game high lead was quickly brought back, and this preliminary final continues to deliver.
Two big men for both sides now on the board. So 4-4-28 to 5-2-32. Coming up to the 9-minute mark here of the second quarter. Good delivery here, and the big full forward just got him for height, pushed him out of the, nudged him perfectly out of the road, and then finished off very well. Back in the middle.
Grant and Conway. Anderson, another clearance from the middle on the trusty left boot. Bowden beat Harris to the footy, forces it forward. Davidson there. But St Mary's defence is strong. Conway The 1-2 will come off. Oh, Harris was heavily met by Anderson coming the other way. Garner about to be run down from behind by Slee. Gets his kick away. Kodefa wasn't going for the footy, and a free kick goes against him. Delahaye comes in to remonstrate. He just lost interest in going for the mark and crashed his body into his opponent, Zach Smith, and Zach Smith rightly gets the free kick.
I think they call that in the back.
Staunton, dangerous, just gets to him. Dylan Lant close quickly. Calder closes quickly. Staunton gets boot to ball. Now Davidson turned 360 in a tackle. No prior opportunity rules. Umpire Mark Noonan will have a ball up. Big Wyatt Ryan. Kick forward in the Brander direction. Got hands to it. Robinson knocked it to ground. Brander, the beautiful spin for the big man. Staunton. Anderson. Long to George. Clever tap on. Wanting Waistcoat. Can he get there? Robinson goes off the ground. Waistcoat still in control. Flips it back, but there's green jumpers everywhere, and Jacob Long comes up with it for St Mary's and kicks it back towards half back. Wyatt Ryan competed hard. Harris has recovered from that big knock a moment ago and gave to Conway. Up towards half board, but running back with a flight courageously. Zach Smith takes a good mark. He can go into the corridor if he wants to. Oh, he hits it terribly. Turns it over. Missed his target. Garner's bumped heavily by Bolton. Comes to Jack Lant. He rides one bump. Can he ride Wyatt Ryan? He couldn't. Players still down behind play. Garner's wrapped up in a tackle. And it's Jai Bolton who's going to come off for a little rest. He's just holding his jaw. I don't think it was deliberate. I think it was just in the contest. But he got a pretty heavy knock in the face as Wyatt Ryan might have been scragged there by Conway as he tried to compete in the ruck. Lant rode the bump beautifully. He wanted the footy. He kicks towards centre half forward. The crumb here, clever little kick. Kodefa's in front. He's hard to knock off the footy. Not paid by the umpire. Zach Smith comes up with it. Too tall there for Burgess. Kodefa's got speed. Charged down from behind. Burgess comes up with it again. Or Delahaye it is, in fact. Beautiful one-handed pick-up. There's going to be a free kick, though. Well tackled by Vallejo. Too much pace. He kicks in towards the pocket. Out comes Calder. The kick a little bit too high. Ted Castle was excellent. Tapped it to his own advantage. Out comes Paredes from the goal square. Vacant square. Bounces it through for his second. Kick one in the first. He's got one in the second. And St Mary's are in front by 2 points.
Yeah, leading possession getter on the ground, Paredes. And every time he gets it, he's doing it at speed. And did very, very well there to scrap that goal for St Mary's. They hit the front 5-4-34 to 5-2-32. As we watch the replay now, just they wouldn't give up St Mary's in this one. They just kept it going and thought there for a sec they were out. A great tackle and well rewarded by the umpire.
Yeah, mark that down to Vallejo's desperate forward line pressure. Ted Castle did work pretty well also just to force the ball forward, keep it in his path, and then Paredes burst out from the goal square and did the rest. The burly number 4 for St Mary's, brilliant player. Ryan, Toa, Johnston. Ducking his head into the contact was Staunton. And umpire says, I saw that and I was going to ball it up. So back in the middle, halfway through the second quarter. Johnston on Paredes. Johnston wanted a holding free kick, didn't get it. Souter there, number 40. Clever by Musgrove, spun out of trouble. Kicks to Kodefa, goes over his head. Calder flips the handball out. Garner wrapped up in a two-person tackle. One of those is Mackenzie Slee, number 2 there. Also in the action was Luke Delahaye. So a ball up. St Mary's into attack again. Little period of dominance. 2-point lead only. They've kicked the last 2 goals. Out comes Burgess. Handball. Stanley was taken high late. Paredes, he's not a malicious player generally, so it was just accidental. He's a hard player. It was just clumsy more than anything, and so Stanley wins the free kick at left half back. Into Cotter. No one in front of him, so he can gain a couple of metres, pump it long. Running under at waistcoat, got hands to it, and then kick out of bounds on the full from Davies. So that mistake by waistcoat doesn't cost too much. He just misread the ball in flight.
He's run under a couple tonight, but Saints have improved in tackles in this quarter. They got it back down to pretty much even in the tackle count. They were down by nearly double at one stage in that first quarter, but we're back to pretty even now in tackles.
Waistcoat gave to Burgess. He pumps it long, wanting Brander. Ran under the footy. Ross scoops it up. Was he taken high? He was. He might have just dropped the knees ever so slightly. He was charging at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And St Mary's player had to grab him.
Yeah, looked clumsy.
And it's kicked in towards the top of the goal square. This is where George is dangerous. Instead, Schwartz this time hooks the kick around. Has he hooked it too far? He has. So Schwartz looking for his second goal of the night. The margin is a point. 5-4 to 5-3. Another terrific game of NTFL finals action. Dylan Lance, the gun midfielder for Saints, does the kicking in and hits Kieran Parnell on the chest on defensive 50. Dylan Barry barking instructions there. Vallejo has drifted up from the forward pocket. Plays on now. Oh, it must have been a down the ground kick. So St Mary's just controlling things at the moment. The goal would be nice for them as Cordefa breaks, gets out in front of Delahaye. Look at that pickup for the big man. Handball back to Vallejo, back to Cordefa. He's got a left boot and he pokes it in now. Over the top. Lant got rid of his opponent illegally, said the umpire. So Southern Districts can breathe a sigh of relief. Jed Anderson, North Melbourne, Hawthorn, Gold Coast Suns. Cotter marks. Little tap on the back there from his opponent Jake Toa. Bit of friendliness between the two rivals. It's Cotter from defensive side of the wing. In from the side, Offermans. Ryan flew high. Johnston grubbers it. Clever. Brander got away from Robinson. Jared Brander to the square. Waistcoat is there. So's George. George couldn't take it with him though. Jacob Long ran straight into trouble. Just got the handball away to Parnell in the nick of time. Off to Ethan Knight. Knight towards half back. Wants Souter. Zach Smith though held him out. He's got a player all on at centre half forward. Again the option is to go long. No wide this time. Brander in front. Knocked away but over the shoulder. And this is where the size is starting to pay against Will Robinson. He will try and try and try, but just infringed on that occasion with the taller man in front. Got his hand over the right shoulder, and Brander can line up for his third goal.
He just a clip around the back of the head there. Brander let the umpire know where it was, but by that stage the umpire had already seen it.
For his 11th goal of the final series so far. 3 in the elimination final against Pint. 5 in the first semi against Waratah. For his third goal inside a half of footy in the preliminary final. Jared Brander kicks at goal. Jared Brander has missed away to the right.
A couple opportunities this quarter for Southern Districts.
Into the goal post.
One to Dennis and now one to Brander.
Dylan Lance kick is excellent to Offermans at centre half back. Player running by. And there's another free kick, so something infringement all the way down at centre half forward, dangerous. Jack Lant has got Calder running into space. Mazzini might not get to him. Calder marks it or free kick. Must be one or the other because running into him front on, eyes off the footy was Mazzini in desperation. And Calder, I think, in the end wins the free kick. So end-to-end footy. Something must have happened all the way down at centre half forward for St Mary's. Maybe Jack Lant had started to make a lead and was scragged. But the ball came out to half-back from his brother from full-back. And there was a whistle blown. There was a free to Jack Lant in a quick transition. Calder read it best. Quickly made space into the pocket. And from this spot, he lines up for his second goal of the quarter. And he makes... Oh, did it shave the post from here? It looked like it touched the post. And the Southern Districts player, so we're right behind that in the commentary box. And I reckon that shaved the goalpost. So the umpire has come in to consult the goal umpire. Calder celebrated, as most forwards do.
Yeah, anything within in a reasonable distance is a full forward to celebrate, but I think it did touch the post as well.
Definitely deviated, but without the benefit. Yes, well done, umpires.
Yeah, well done.
Don't have the benefit, of course, of all the video replays and so on, the technology, but they got it right, I reckon. So the margin back to a point, and Calder is inaccurate again. He's kicked 1-2 for the night as it comes out to Brander, who marks strongly but a long way from goal at left half back, and he's just telling players to just slow down a bit. We're almost into time on. Oh, well read by Dylan Lant, coming the other way, runs straight into Brander, who makes him earn it, pummels him into the TIO turf. Burgess comes up with a footy. The wrestle still goes on in back play, but it's up towards half forward. Robinson, Brander's opponent, misses the footy. Coming through Bowden, clever, sockers off the ground, gathered neatly by Schwartz, bursts his way through Ling, just got a handle away, but they stand firm in defence to St Mary's. Comes back to Waistcoat. Comes now to Dominic Grant. His high kick up towards half forward. In front was Cordefa. Big spoil away by the defence of Southern Districts in Mackenzie Slee. And the ball goes out of bounds.
And unlike it normally, Dylan Lamp was at the bottom of that pack, and they were still carrying on there as the ball came forward again. But usually the best way to stop those tussles is put the ball somewhere near everybody.
Just into time on. St Mary's lead by a point. Certainly got the crowd fired up.
Yep.
Staunton. Anderson spikes it forward, gains 30 metres. Robinson meets it. He's about to be met by Bowden, but he burst his way through the tackle. In the Cordefa direction. Big Tex. Couldn't quite trap it. Musgrove wanting his teammate Cordefa sliding by. Great tackle by Offermans. Comes to Harris. Stepping one way, then the other. Garner on the left boot. Wonderful kick. Couldn't quite hit his teammate Paredes in the forward pocket. And it dribbles out of bounds. Opportunity goes begging.
21-minute mark in the second quarter. 5-5-35 to 5-4-34.
Dancing footwork of Joel Garner. Not sure the cricketer of the same name could have moved quite so nimbly. The giant West Indian fast bowler of the 70s and 80s is tapped by Dennis. Two-person tackle on Jack Lance. About the only way he can get him down. He's such a solidly built player. Burgess. High. Conway. Wonderful mark on George to send St Mary's back into play. He's 60 out from goal. On the left, pumps it long to the square. Calder, Cordefa. Dennis is there as well. Cordefa left highest, I should say. I'll spit it out eventually. Comes to Vallejo. Went without the footy. Took his eyes off the ball. Johnston goes in hard. So does Slee. And Vallejo as well. It finally comes out. Play on the call. The umpires let it go towards the boundary line. Offermans gathers a half volley. Coming in was Anderson, and a strong tackle. The wrestle here, someone's not happy with how that played out. They come in for Anderson. The umpire will come in and maybe award a free kick to try and break it up. Anderson's the one that wins the free kick in the end. So Dylan Land involved once more. That jumper's getting more and more stretched with every contest. Anderson from the back pocket. Out of the danger zone with a long kick. From behind Robinson. Garner to centre half forward. In from the side flew Zach Smith. Thrown into the TIO turf. Waistcoat. Initially overran the footy, then came up with it. Brilliantly done there by Davidson. Got it out to Johnston. On the bounce to Ross. Grant there with him. Was he held momentarily? Might have just played for it. Johnston comes in to lend assistance for the Southern District Crocs. And there'll be a ball up at centre half forward. 5-5 to 5-4. Excellent game of footy. Closing in on half time. Won't be a long quarter, Nick. In fact, there it is.
There it is. 5-5-35 to 5-4-34 here at half time in the prelim final. We'll be back here with you shortly here at TIO Stadium.
You know Territorians go a long way for one another. So it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we are here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling expenses. And that goes a long way when you're away.
Get a quote today.
TIO, we're for Territorians.
Looking for a fun day out with your family or friends? Putt on over to Palmerston Mini Golf. With our beautifully landscaped course suitable for all ages, you'll have a blast playing mini golf here at Palmerston. We offer the perfect setting for kids' birthday parties, complete with special packages to make their day unforgettable. And if you're looking to have some fun with your mates, we have you covered too. Play during the day or under lights. We're open until 10 p.m.
And we'll see you around Palmerston Mini Golf.
Find us at the Palmerston Golf and Country Club.
So we're here on a Friday night for our NAB AFL Auskick, where we run a girls only option and the kids are pumped, ready to rock and roll and have some fun with the footy.
We signed our daughter up for Auskick because her big brother did Auskick last year and she just loves it. I thought signing her up for a girls only group would be a great chance for her to kind of be with some friends in a comfortable environment.
The thing about a girls only team that I think Zoe really enjoys is that she gets to run around with like-minded girls. They get distracted, they do cartwheels, they hold hands, they sing. It just makes it a bit more of a fun experience.
I like Auskick because I get to play with my sister. We love Auskick!
A number of parents have asked if their daughter has to be in your girls group, and they don't. There will be some girls that will naturally just gravitate to brothers or cousins and join the boys group and have just as much fun if it were to be single sex. So yeah, there's definitely options there every Friday night.
My girls just love interacting with the other girls here. They love kicking a footy, they love learning the skills, and they love the hot dog at the end. I love joining in with my girls. I actually can't help myself, and I love to see the skills not only of my kids but of the other kids in their girls only group really developing over the clinic.
Evie just loves playing the games, learning new things. She'll be doing it then for the rest of the weekend, doing her favourite kicks, telling us how many goals she kicked on Friday night.
The best thing about Auskick is that it's really fun. It's lots of fun for them.
Yeah!
'Cause I just wanna move.
Play your way. Sign up today at play.afl.
Again, Butcher! No, he couldn't take the mark, got rid of his man legally, did all the hard work and then dropped the chest mark in the end. Flips a handball over the top. Kennedy there, off to a teammate, quick snap on goal, and they've got their second in a minute. Oh, the Tigers are hot tonight. Beautiful goal by Edwards. Darm's good to the dangerous Scott. Scott's long kick in the Butcher direction. Got rid of his man, dropped the chest mark. Churgoon got pushed off the footy. He backhands at Wanning Island into the path of Politis again. And Nightcliff get goal number 5. In front of Nyhouse, the AFL experienced player. Offerman's inside 50. Pushing and shoving there in the pocket. Comes to Calder. Quick snap on the left. What a brilliant goal. And inside a minute, St Mary's get a goal at the airport in Lance. Dylan Lance long kick. Cordefa, Nyhouse. Into the path of an opponent though. Gathered and snapping around the corner is Musgrove with goal number 5 for the quarter. And the margin just 10 points. This is a phenomenal comeback by St Mary's. That strong body in front. Offerman's off the ground goes Toa. Here's Jack Lant. He's dangerous here. Can kick off left and right. Gets onto the left. Jack Lant kicks a great goal from 35, and it's just 1 point in it. 6-5 to 6-6. Lant gets his first of the night. Can they get one before half-time just to steady the ship a little bit? Oh, well nudged off the footy. Had Scott to go to if he wanted to, but Kennedy didn't need him, and Kennedy bounces through his third goal. What a great Crummers goal. Churgoon is disputing the decision, or maybe he thinks it's touch, where Butcher running back with the flight of the ball, the spoil over the back, Edwards running onto it. They almost left it alone for each other. Edwards finally gathered, hooks the ball around and kicks the goal. End-to-end footy by Nightcliff. And yet again, they creep out to a pretty handy margin of 19 points. Charging hard after him is Lanyon. He'd want to get his skates on. Vallejo's quick. He's going to burn away. He's had one bounce. He ran a long way. Vacant goal square. Vallejo! Brilliant goal. He had Calder running back. He was an option, but Vallejo, no, he had it covered. The mark was dropped. Comes to Cox. Comes to Butcher. Can he keep it in? He can. Big John wanted the handball. Threw it on the boot and hooks around a great goal. Well, the player there beside the goalpost for St Mary's pointing at something, but I'm pretty sure there's no doubt about that goal. Zust tackles him strongly. Back to Offerman's. Got a man free. Comes to Kluski. Goal! The defender brings up the first of the final quarter for St Mary's, and the margin is just 15 points so far in the final quarter. Kennedy, nice hands, gives to Emery. Quick snap from Philo. Is that another one? That's 2 in 20 seconds to Nightcliff. It's not game over yet. We're just 5 minutes into the last quarter, but they're making it pretty hard. You like Nightcliff?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a late goal here. Maybe the door is still open. A mistake made, and Cordefa bounces one through to bring it back to 3 goals. 10-9 plays 13-9, 20.5 minutes gone. Poor technique, poor result.
And there
is the siren, Nick Danks.
Yes, the Tigers are through to a grand final with an 11-point win, 11-10-76 to 13-9-87. Oh, what a game of footy.
Get something on the board here. Punched away by Nightcliff out of the ruck. Ware tackled. Everyone sort of hesitant to take control of the ball. It comes out the back now. Zarafa goes one way, goes the other, throws it on the boot. What a goal to open the game by Kira Zarafa of the Waratahs.
Someone needed to step up, and you could count on Kira Zarafa to do that every time.
Handball misses the target. Waratah regain possession. And now Eden once again just drives it inside 50. We've got a one-on-one and a beautiful mark over the back by the Waratah player there in Cassandra Glover.
Here she hasn't given herself too much of a long run up, but she'll come in and kick from about 30 out. And she steers that one home beautifully. So she's kicked Tar's second goal, and the second goal only scored in this first quarter. Just gets driven into the ground off the footy, and some really strong pressure here by Nightcliff as Berry just gets away from her player. She gets it over the top to Jacobs, who's running into a free goal square. Can she pick it up? She's got support coming in Michaela Ward. Michaela Ward runs around, and she dribbles it through for Nightcliff's first goal of this game. And that quick one early just keeps them right back in this game, in touch with the Waratahs.
He's at the end of this second quarter out there in the midday heat. And we're going to have a whistle holding the ball. So the Tigers deemed holding the ball, and Hayley Finning of the Waratahs will take that free kick. Plays on quickly, gets around the player, takes a bounce, running in at goal, gets the kick away. Goal umpire doesn't move. Finning has kicked the first goal of the second quarter for the Tars.
You can definitely kick 50. She just need that steer home, but it hasn't come nicely off the boot, and it's just going to drop short. But a beautiful, strong mark by Wardy there, and the umpire's paid it. I'd say that was a beautiful mark, and she just took that and dragged it straight in before it could get knocked out of her hands.
On the siren, so Michaela Ward, slow run up, sends it home and puts her hands in the air and does the double cobra, and the Tigers are back in front at half-time here at TIO Stadium in Darwin in this Women's Premier League first semi-final.
In long inside their forward 50. First to it is Netherway. She's just trying to buy herself a bit of space to be able to pick that footy up. And it bounces. It's still bouncing, but she's got support in Patmore, and Patmore releases Healy. Healy's had a look on goal, and she's kicked it through. So the first goal of this third quarter comes at the 14-minute mark, and it is Alicia Healy for Waratah Football Club kicking the first goal of this quarter. And Zarafa goes wide trying to find Celebrate, but Turnbull spoils that one, and Landwise straight onto it, but she's got a 3-on-1 inboard. It's just going to clear that pack. And who's there? It's Michaela Ward again, working overtime this whole game, and Jacobs releases Berry. Can Berry kick it? She's kicked it.
What a goal! That's the match winner right there.
Sophie Berry, she kicked 3 or 4 goals last week to keep Tigers in there that game, and she's just been released, and what a beautiful goal. If it spills out and they can inject it quickly.
And there's the siren. Nightcliff Tigers live to fight another day. They've taken out this first semi-final, the Battle of the Beaches, and they've knocked Waratah out of the finals, 4-7-31. Defeating the Tars 4-1-25 here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. And Sophie Berry with that final goal in the final quarter, winning the game for her Tigers.
Smothered, clever work as it gets back to Johnson. He kicks long inside forward 50. No mark taken. It spills to Dylan Barry at ground level on the outside of the boot. It's a check side kick. It's gone straight through for a goal to Southern Districts in the opening minute of the game. And this time gets it to cross, and District's a chance going forward. Brander hooks it around looking for Barry. Barry on the second grab. Over the top, takes the mark. As Daniel O'Dwyer did as much as he could. As Barry plays on quickly now, hooks the ball around. He's celebrating. It's another Southern District's goal. It's another Dylan Barry goal. Just being put on the right angle. He kicks now towards goal, and I think it's pretty good. Players are pretty good at those these days, Nick, and from out wide, and he's worked that one back nicely, and as I said before, a really important player for Waratah. His opponent under the ball and then ran back onto it, delivers inside forward 50. It's punched away, but at ground level it's a chance for Tars. It comes to Cassidy. Cassidy keeps it low, but gets it out of the reach of the Southern District's defenders and through for a Waratah goal. He's got a free player in Cockatoo. It's well delivered. Cockatoo off quickly, took no time at all, wanted to move it in quickly, and Brander had worked into space again. Yeah, straight through the middle for Brander, no problem whatsoever, and he's having a good day, Brander. He's pretty Cassidy, quick by the hands, and obviously looking to move it quickly and create something. Carlin gets it to Ankers, who kept running forward. He kicks for goal now, and I think he's got this one through for a Waratah goal, and one that they badly needed. And Abe Ankers, he doesn't go too many games without getting on the score, about 3 metres, and District scrambling in defence now. Mazzini gets it away, but it's all Tars here as it's picked up by Collis. Collis kicks towards goal. I think he likes it, he does, and it's a Waratah goal, a belated one in this third quarter. The lights will take effect as Dennis wins it down. The long kick comes into the goal square. Brander in front, picks it up on the rebound, snaps over his shoulder, and he's got himself another one, another Southern District's goal late in this third quarter, and they respond to the Waratah goal in pretty quick fashion. And looked like he was pushed. Play on's the call.
Free advertising
onto it. Ball slips out here to Cockatoo. He gives it to George. George has a snapshot at goal, and I think he's put it through. He has. And another Southern District's goal on the board.
Welcome back. We're here for preliminary finals action of the TIO NTFL Men's Premier League competition from TIO Stadium in Darwin on Larrakia country. 76.5 games played this season. We still don't know who's going to be in the grand final. Rob, it's going to be a big one last half of footy.
Yeah, it's been a great first half, and now we're seeing some pictures in the stands, and that's the Nightcliff team, who of course won last week's second semi-final over St Mary's by 11 points. So the coaching staff and a number of their players are in there. Drinking waters, I'm sure, just watching from one of the corporate boxes, but the coaching staff, in particular Lee Crossman, who coached the TIO Bombers to their one and only premiership back in 11-12, is now the coach of Nightcliff, and has done a great job getting them back straight into the grand final and having the week off this week. Brenton Toy, who's another big name, is on the coaching panel of Nightcliff as well. He's also in the past been involved with the TIO Bombers, and he knows a lot about NTFL and top end or territory football for that matter. So a very strong brains trust for Nightcliff, and they will be looking at this game intently and have to have some concern, because both teams are playing terrific football and a margin of just 1 point at half time.
Yeah, I caught up with a couple of players at half time from the Tigers and just got their thoughts, and that was pretty much what they were saying. They weren't even sure either which side is going to go through here, and with 1 point out, it's pretty obvious. Leading possession on the ground at the moment, Paredes has got 12, and for Southern Districts, Mitch Burgess with 15. So pretty tight across the ground as well.
So the two first-choice ruckmen are waiting to get back into the contest. Toa there, number 23 for St Mary's, and Matt Dennis on the other side of the circles. We're underway in the second half, the preliminary final of the NTFL for season 23-24, and Dylan Land, has he got a new jumper on, Nick? It was stretched and pulled and ripped apart, and not quite ripped in the first quarter, but a lot of scragging going on. He soccers it off the ground in the direction of Musgrove. He's tackled there strongly by Bolton, mopped up by Garner. Garner's kick around the corner up towards half forward, overrunning it. Running back onto the footy there was Delahaye. Cordefa comes in to lay a tackle. Does well. Paredes can't control it as Cotter came in from the side, and it goes out of bounds for a boundary throw in left forward pocket in front of the Michael Long Leadership and Learning Centre.
I'm betting with Dylan Lant they've got a couple of spare shirts for him every week, because he tends to be at the bottom of the pack most weeks, so they might have a couple of number 9s down there for him.
Boundary upper waiting for something. Might be a blood rule. I think Dean Staunton is coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Kane Davidson for Southern Districts. It's not surprising to see Staunton come off from time to time with the blood rule. He puts his head over the ball every week. Very tough, courageous player. Play back underway. Early stages, third quarter. Cordefa. Anderson. Well done by Ted Castle. Just got rid of the bigger Sam Smith and took the mark. His thumping kick this will be too far out to score, but he kicked a magnificent goal last week from a little bit closer from that angle. Cotter flew. Paredes looking for his third goal. It was just taken off the footy. Comes back to Anderson. Clearing kick. Wyatt Ryan's there, so is Brander. Getting a hand on it was Robinson in front for St Mary's. Parnell toes it along and just keeps it in play before it could have gone out of bounds on the full. Just bounced once and trickled over the white paint. So back up towards the wing in front of the Morris Rioli grandstand here at TIO Stadium. Toa up against Dennis. Toa in the green of St Mary's in front. They nullify each other. Anderson tried to take it away with him. Tackled by two players. Lant might get another chance here. Beautiful pick up by Ted Castle again. He's starting to impose himself. Beautifully weighted foot. He finds Musgrove in front of Zach Smith out at right half forward. Musgrove stabs the pass into Calder, gets in front of Mazzini, and for a big man, he's got good pace, and once his body and his frame got in front of Mazzini, it was going to be hard as long as the pass was hot, and it was. So Calder, bit of a mixed night so far. He's kicked 1 goal, 2. It's a 45-degree angle. He'll kick from just inside 40 metres to make it a 7-point ball game. Should be St Mary's biggest lead of the night. He comes in and kicks across the face. So not a great night for Jackson. He's kicked 1-3.
Had a couple of nights this season we've seen him play where he's just not had the boots on, and then all of a sudden he'll get 2 or 3 at the end. So don't write him off just yet.
Cotter brings it out. Sweeps the handball. Dangerous. Burgess is tackled. Did he get enough on it for a handball? Beautifully picked up there by Vallejo. Gives it to Offermans. Gives to Ted Castle, who deserves a goal instead. Handballs it over the top, which might not have been the right option to Musgrove, but he's been pushed in the back, rules the umpire. And free kick goes against Jed Anderson, who cannot believe it. He plays with such vigour, and he just infringed as he tried to close down the St Mary's half forward. So Musgrove must kick this goal from almost directly in front, or slight angle, about 15 metres out. He's being pushed around on a bit more of an angle, so maybe it's now to 45 degrees, but he's close. Plenty of space between the big posts for an 8-point lead to Saints. Makes no mistake, good start by St Mary's in this third quarter.
They look good. They've attacked pretty solidly in this quarter.
And their big targets in Cordefa 29 and 24, just off screen there in Calder, starting to come into play. But that was a wonderful pickup, wasn't it, by Vallejo?
And then you would have thought he was just going to pop this one over the top, but decided to play on, and you could say that was a bit of a professional foul as well. He just mistimed the tackle and got him in the back.
Musgrove was busy last week. He's again been in the play, offering some good options for the players further upfield as they bring the ball into the St Mary's forward line. Dennis waited for Toa to leap at the footy. Dylan Lant lays a strong tackle on Johnston. So we'll get another start. Dennis over the top. Bolton tried the clever handball to Johnston. This time Lant wraps him up. So that's a good Dow battle between Jack Lant, I should say Dylan Lant, and Johnston. Try to get the ball away from the centre once more. Anderson, did he have the footy? Taken high maybe by Offermans. He wastes no time and plays on towards half forward. In front, George. Knocked away by Ethan Knight. Handball to the back. Long. Parnell. Dangerous. Running onto it was George. Couldn't take it with him. Handball only as far as Anderson. He falls over in the tackle. Back to Long. Long's kick to the wing. Paredes is out there. So too Cotter. Cotter's handball is good. To Bolton, back to Cotter. Delahaye steps around Cordefa. Burgess. Southern District's building. Into the pocket. Big fly from behind. The spoil came from Parnell. Wyatt Ryan, the big 15, is in there. Davies. George slid through. Schwartz. George. Clever kick was chopped down. Intention was right. Ling. Back to Parnell. His kick outside defensive 50. Back to Bolton. Beautiful ball into Anderson. That was great composure by Southern Districts.
Well, so tends to have plenty of time, Anderson does, up there, and just gets himself in that position to receive a ball like that. And he's a very good kick. Aiming for his first of the night.
He's been busy as ever. His bullocking style of play has been imprinted on some St Mary's opponents. Also lots of possessions, gets lots of hard balls. Bring the margin back to 2 points. Jed Anderson is away to the left and it just sneaks in for a behind, so the margin 7.
The breeze has died down to that end. It normally goes to that way here at the TIO Stadium to the right of screen.
As he's done most of the night, Jack Lant brings the ball back into play. Flying in front, Cordefa. Bowden. White Ryan running back at the flight of the ball. Courage shown by Parnell. Quick kick by Dylan Lant. Vallejo. Couldn't quite trap it. Bowden. Taken in the tackle as he got his kick away. Ling taking it towards the boundary line. Schwartz calling for deliberate. I don't think he'll get it.
No, not from there. Wry smile from him though. I don't think he expected it either. 6:42 to 5:35 coming up to the 8-minute mark of the third quarter here in the prelim final.
So neither team can shake the other. It's 4-1 to 3-3 at quarter time, Southern District's favour. 5-4 to 5-5 at half time. St Mary's are up by a point. There's been a push front on contact and Jack Land will take it inside defensive 50 for St Mary's. Jack Lant's been good across half forward. He's had a stint in the middle, and now he finds himself at half back. He's kicked 1 goal tonight. Cordefa just got it in front of Smith at the 3rd attempt. He's got a player out wide. A lot of play out on the outer side tonight. He goes there now. Spots up Seth Harris. Bowden closes him down quickly. So Harris forced to go long, down the wing, in from the side. The big spoil. Got it away from Calder. Delahaye. Dylan Lant scooped it in but couldn't keep it in the field of play. It looks like not only there Dean Staunton got his head taped, but I think he's now wearing number 3. Must have been a bit of blood on the jumper. Normally number 4 is Dean Staunton, but I'm pretty sure I saw 3 on his back then. So Conway, 35 for St Mary's, up against 21 there, Matt Dennis. No one really got an effective tap away. Johnston's been terrifically busy all night. Bolton's been pretty good as well. Garner taken down in a tackle. There he is again, Anderson, that vigour. Big bump. Cotter goes over the top of the footy. Harris burrows in after the ball. Bowden tackles him. Scooped up by Offermans. Back to Dominic Grant. Grant into the pocket, running back of the flight there was Cordefa, couldn't take the mark, and Bolton sees it out of bounds. No, he keeps it in. And Mazzini, they can switch to the grandstand side, just gets to his teammate there, and spilling forward into the mark is Taj Stanley. Kicks to Burgess. Loops one over the top to Dylan Barry. He's high ball to the wing. White Ryan works his way to the front, but stripped away by Dominic Grant. Back into the corridor. Taken by Harris. His long kick. Cordefa in front. Just ran under it a little bit. Nice little spin. Ball comes out to Burgess. Ross comes hard at the footy against Souter. There's a player down behind play over the boundary line, a Southern Districts player. And the ball will be thrown up just outside 50. High intensity. Just 1 goal for the quarter so far. That's to St Mary's, and that's to Mitch Musgrove. So umpire Mark Noonan tosses it up again. Conway won the tap. Schwartz. Jack Lant bursts his way through, then runs heavily into Johnston. Cotter left without it, or Schwartz it might have been. Souter. There's Staunton now in number 3. Souter lays a strong tackle on Slee. And there'll be ball up. I think it was Burgess in back play. He was met heavily. He's back on the field now. He looks okay. Jack Lance, strength. Kick smothered. Offermans to the square. Cordefa and Calder. Calder in from the side. Clears the back. Musgrove might have his second for the quarter. Runs onto the crumbs. Scoops it up in the pocket. And they sneak away to a 13-point lead. 2 goals for the third term to Mitch Musgrove. 7-6 to 5-5.
Yeah, handy lead here now to St Mary's. As you said, Mitch Musgrove getting his second for the quarter. 7-6, 48 to 5-5, 35. Let's watch the ball come out over the back here. Offermans drops it in and it just bounces right, and the only one running for it was Musgrove, and as you can see the Crocs players just caught by the bounce of the ball. And a handy lead now to St Mary's.
Could have raffled it. Vallejo streaming into the goal square as well. So a rare lapse in defence by Southern Districts. Costly. 13-point lead in a low-scoring goal-for-goal game. It's the biggest margin of the match. Saints, the minor premiers, were shocked by Nightcliff in the second semi last week, lost by 11 points. Paredes, they go forward again. Vallejo's had a terrific night. Gives to Souter. What good play. He's kicking towards the pocket. Didn't really give Calder much of an opportunity, but Calder does well just to corral Mazzini and force him out of bounds. The ball stays in the forward 50 for Saints.
St Mary's have won every quarter in the side the 50s, or +4 in the first, +2 in the second, and now +3 here in the third. So they've been keeping the ball in their forward line.
Ryan wins the tap against Cordefa. Offermans went without it. Now he's got it. Oh, quick snap. He had a moment of space. Got boot to ball. Corner stretches. It's already gone through. Another behind to St Mary's. A dominant patch of play. The margin to 14 points. Cotter to bring the ball back in for the Crocs. What have they got? Become a bit stagnant. They need someone to light them up. Good pressure being poured on by St Mary's. Bolton's kick was one-hander, spectacular by Schwartz. It was dangerous kick into the corridor, but he got away with it. Up to Dennis. Spoiled away from him. Ross goes without it. Diving in after it there was Long. Dominic Grant, excellent tackle on the much bigger Dennis. The kick there comes from Davies up towards half forward. Jack Land taken into tackle by Johnston. Musgrove again. High kick. He's quick, Calder. He's getting to the contest. Can he push away from Mazzini? Mazzini did superbly well. He didn't do well enough. He scragged him, in fact. And he's given away a free kick. Calder worked his way to the front. And in desperation, Mazzini has infringed. And maybe Jackson can bring up his second goal. 1-3 so far tonight. And Nick, a 20-point lead in this game is a pretty big break at the 14-minute mark of the third quarter if he can put it through.
Yeah, the ball hasn't gone forward enough for Southern Districts, so some of their names are missing, obviously, in this quarter. But, this could be telling for St Mary's.
Calder from almost directly in front. Kicks at goal. He missed that one as well. You wouldn't believe it. Normally such a good kick, Jackson Calder. And that's 1-4 for the night.
Yeah, it is. And one of those was nearly out of bounds, so had a tough night in front.
Keeping Southern Districts in the game a little bit. Burgess spoiled from behind by Ling. Johnston is pushed out of bounds.
There's a couple of players have gone missing for Southern Districts this quarter. Barry, George. I don't think we've called Waistcoat at all in this quarter, and he was a bit missing there in the second half, in the second quarter as well. And of course, not much chances up front. It's hardly gone up there for him this quarter.
Toa's done a great job in the ruck, giving away quite a few centimetres to both Southern Districts ruck, but he's contested everything. Bolton's been excellent for Southern Districts. Long ball to Dennis in front. Had two to beat though. Brander. Parnell grabbed him and was not going to let go. At least it's in their forward 50. Can they find a goal? Free kick, hold. This is their chance. Johnston's been terrific. Pretty much their best, I reckon. He's been in everything. Ian Anderson in the midfield.
This is his 17th disposal for the night. Only Burgess is in front of him for disposals more for the Crocs.
Matthew Johnston sets it up to the hot spot. Brander got hands to it. Anderson there. Cleared away long back into the middle. Zach Smith flew high with the spoil. Cotter there at ground level. Strong tackling. Wraps up his opponent Offermans. And there'll be a ball up at centre half forward for Southern Districts. It's been a 2-0-0 quarter so far to St Mary's. Handball for Johnston, another disposal on the bounce. Here's Waistcoat. Ricocheted off his shins. Staunton's the man on the fly. He can't bring the ball around enough from 30 metres. It's a behind only. That would have been a handy goal. Might have lifted his side out of nothing. Jacob Long. Ling. Ling to Long. Or Long to Ling as it was in that case. Back to Long. To the wing. Staunton tackled beautifully by Dylan Lant. Bowden on the right boot, high. Might have just travelled 15 and Paredes marks in front of Bolton.
I think it was 7.5 up and down.
Paredes to centre half forward. Oh, Mazzini superb. Took it on and wins the bouncing footy in front of Calder. High kick. Anderson comes hard, but Toa was brave and stood in the way. And Anderson cluttered into him. Toa stood and took the mark and gives it off to Davies. He's a big frame. Davies. And Davies might have wasted, although the mark was one-hand attempt, wasn't strong enough there by Slee. Put his fellow defenders under a bit of pressure. Mazzini was strongly tackled. Vallejo's snap is through. A mistake again by the Southern District's defenders. Vallejo brings up his first goal for the night. He's been a constant threat down there. And Southern Districts had a couple of chances to clear the footy. Vallejo doesn't need too many opportunities. And he ran onto the footy and snapped another one for Saints.
3 goals to none in this quarter. They call it the championship quarter, and it's 8-8-56 to 5-6-36, a 20-point lead. Getting close to time on here in the third quarter in the prelim final. Just fell again. That's about the second or third time tonight that's happened for St Mary's, where the ball has just fallen out to someone who's just had a snap in front, directly in front by themselves. And I'd hate to say, you think the Crocs are going to have to get the next one.
Well, they haven't beaten them all season. They've been close games. Back in round 3 as a 12-point win at Fred's Pass, Southern District's home ground, as Paredes goes bursting away again. Vallejo for his second in 20 seconds. To the top of the square. The wrestle, almost the mark. To the back of the pack. Socket through by Musgrove.
Touched.
It was touched. Well done by Zach Smith. Right beside him all of the way. So behind only is Musgrove. Looked for his third goal of the quarter. And he was tapped through. I thought he might have got a boot to it. It was the hand of Zach Smith. Cotter pumps it long to Dennis. One hand, well done by Paredes to apply enough pressure. Davidson. Well, that was a throw, surely. Anyway, not picked up. Ted Castle got away with it. Taj Stanley. Along the ground by Schwartz. Robinson again playing in front of Brander, who wants a deliberate. He won't get it. Robinson won't have a lot of disposals tonight, but he's done a good job. Brander's kicked a couple of goals, but for a player that's kicked 8 in the 2 previous finals and more than 60 for the home and away season, giving a lot of centimetres away and weight, Robinson's done a great job. George gave it to Johnston on the left boot. Didn't strike it that cleanly. Barry's there. Dominic Grant gets to it first with a burst of pace, and within a second St Mary's are back towards half forward. 2 Offermans, ran past it, gets the crumb to Vallejo, pokes the kick over the top. Is wonderful footy by Saints to Calder. They're in complete control now, St Mary's, and it was swept forward at a great rate of knots thanks to the pace of Dominic Grant, the other speedster and will-o'-the-wisp across half forward in Vallejo, and Calder this time for his second, maybe.
This is the quarter that St Mary's wanted, though. When they came out here, they were pretty intent. They came out pretty early as well. He pops this in, and it's a big quarter for them.
For a 27-point lead. Jackson Calder for his second. This time, no mistake. Calder brings up 2 goals, 4 for the night. But importantly, it's a 27-point lead into time on of the third quarter. Southern Districts have got it all to do to make it into the grand final.
Yeah, he did very well there. They took the time. They've just had a fantastic quarter. The Saints coming out of the middle there. There was no answer from the Crocs. It's just dropped over the top. And then as soon as he got this, he knew exactly what he was going to do. He knew that he was loose at the front there, his big full forward, and that's exactly what he did. He dropped it over the top to him, and then he got his kicking boots for that one. Just wobbled a bit at the end, but it's through between the 2 big posts. 9-9-63 to 5-6-36. So 2 points only this quarter for Southern Districts.
Garner. They're going forward again, St Mary's. Inside 50. Calder hands to it. Cotter's tried hard. Sauter sweeps it out. Brown's back on, which is good. The 1-2 there. Back to Seth Harris. Couldn't control the footy. It's out of bounds in the left forward pocket for St Mary's. Southern Districts just 1 goal since quarter time.
Yeah.
Well done by St Mary's. Crocs look good in the first term. As Garner's well tackled. Slee was the player there from the Crocs. Wouldn't want to concede again. That would make it really tough. Dennis up against Conway. Garner again. Sockers off the ground. Ricocheting around. Davidson ducks a tackle. Back to Staunton. Jack Lant. Bowden comes in. Staunton. Head taped up. Again goes into where Angels fear to tread. Puts his head over the footy. And it'll be a ball up 60 out from St Mary's goal. The Michael Long Leadership and Learning Centre in the background here at TIO Stadium. Over the top, Conway reached over the top of Dennis and swats it out of bounds. So a stoppage. St Mary's will be happy with that. Just winding the clock down to three-quarter time. It's been a 4-0 quarter. 4-4 to 2 behinds. Big effort by Saints. Dennis wins that tap. Lant, was he knocked down without it? Johnston pushed him off the footy. Delahaye comes through strongly. Schwartz. George. This might be a chance. Well, it's a 2-on-1 contest. Dylan Barry runs back with a flight. Couldn't get it. Ling did well. He's got Parnell for support, but the bounce favours Barry. Parnell comes in to lay the tackle. Barry can't get away from the clutches of Parnell. Grant comes in to lend some help. Bounces it back into the defensive goal square, and St Mary's through Davies can clear as Brander bumps him heavily, and there'll be some remonstration here. Brander just tried to put a physical imprint on his opponent just after the mark. And the St Mary's players remonstrating. Long one of those, as was Dominic Grant. Davies held onto the mark and then pumps it with a huge torpedo back to the edge of the centre square. Flying high was Garner. Couldn't take the mark. Delahaye. Back inside 50. This might be a chance for Schwartz. Flying clumsily over the top was Grant. Close to the siren. Will he go for goal? He had the player on short. He opted not to go to Bolton. And now he's got a kick from outside 50. He's been called to play on. He bombs it in towards the pocket. Brander from behind. Couldn't take the mark. Could be opportunity missed. Robinson comes up with it. And it's cleared from defence by St Mary's. Up to Dennis. Couldn't take the mark. He's been pretty well quelled tonight, and that might be deliberate. What will the umpire do? It won't matter, Nick Danks. It's three-quarter time.
Yeah, 9-9-63 to 5-6-36. Three-quarter time here in the preliminary final. We'll be back with you with the final quarter very shortly.
Kazali's Palmerston Club. Come and check out our cafe, open 7 days a week. Our kids club is open Wednesday to Sunday nights, including weekend lunchtime. Enjoy hot meals with nightly specials at the bistro or cold drinks at the sports bar. Feeling lucky? Have a go at the latest machines in our gaming lounge or grab your mates for a round of pool. Family gatherings or casual meetings, we have something for everyone. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
'Cause I just wanna move, and you can go too. Yeah, that's me plus you. So tell me what we gon' do. Cause I just wanna move, and you can go too. Yeah, that's me plus you.
Play your way. Sign up today at play.afl.
this week. It's just now. Yeah.
Hello? David. Yeah.
Welcome back for the preliminary finals action of TIO NTFL Men's Premier League competition here from TIO Stadium in Darwin. We're heading into the final quarter of the prelim final, and currently a 27-point lead to St Mary's over Southern Districts. And Rob, your thoughts on that outstanding third quarter by the Saints?
Yeah, it was brilliant. We were just seeing some highlights then. There was a very courageous mark that we just saw a couple of shots ago. Jake Toa waiting under the footy with Anderson crashing into him, and Toa's had a wonderful game in the middle. But I think, yeah, that coming through the elimination final can finally catch up with teams. Just that extra fitness, the fact that St Mary's had the week off. They went down to Nightcliff last week. But it's starting to play a bit of havoc with the bench of Southern Districts. I'm watching down as Roy George is having the hamstrings rubbed. He's a dynamic forward flanker who was very busy in the first half, so he's a big out if he can't come back on the ground to lend assistance to Jared Brander up forward. As we're underway in the last quarter, winner of this game into the grand final, it's mothballs for the loser, and it's St Mary's to go forward again through Garner in front. The sticky fingers of Jackson Calder. Mazzini was all over him, and somehow Calder reached out with those long arms, very sticky fingers, and took a great mark and will line up for his third goal of the night.
Outstanding they've been since half-time, haven't they, St Mary's, and this will be a bit of an icing on a cake. 4-0
in the third quarter. Joel Garner's been a big in. He missed the second semi-final, the former North Melbourne player. He's been terrific through the midfield tonight for St Mary's. Calder's kicked 2-4 for the night from 20 metres out directly in front. He's got his third. And now at a 33-point lead, it's going to be very hard for the Southern Districts Crocs to make their way into the grand final.
Yeah, I said a few minutes ago with Calder, I've seen him have nights like that early where he kicked 1-4, and I think he ended that night with about 5-4. So he's got 3 now and a couple more with a long time to go. We've got obviously the full quarter. But straight out of the centre here, there was exactly what St Mary's would have wanted the start to be. And just kept it, knocked it forward.
It was again a slick handball by Vallejo, wasn't it? It was Lant who put the pressure on initially. Vallejo worked up from inside 50, and Vallejo's had a wonderful game.
Yep.
Beautiful handball to Garner running past to set up that kick to Calder, and he did the rest. Dennis. Anderson has been pretty well quelled. He's been in the best for the Crocodiles, but hasn't really been able to put his stamp on it. Johnston there, number 6, the last one to touch the foot. He's been terrific. He's tried hard all night as well. Paridi's good. Got away from a couple. Saints go forward once more. Cordefa from behind the spoil. It's Delahaye who comes up with it. In fact, it's Slee. Slee had a couple of goes at it, now been pinged for holding the footy, and Cordefa wins the free kick. The man on the mark will be about 45, 46 metres, Matthew Johnston. Tex is a big kick. No breeze. The flags are still on the flag poles opposite us on the outer side. Cordefa's gone back a long way into the centre square here at TIO Stadium. Johnston stands despondently, hands on hips, inside the 50. Couple little side skips. Cordefa for his second of the night, gets right under it, into the pocket, won't have the distance, spoiled away. Bolton there first, out of bounds in the right forward pocket.
The leading possession winners on the ground, Paredes was 16 and Lant was 16, Dylan Lant that is, and for the Crocs, Johnson with 19 and Mitchell Burgess with 20.
Southern Districts just 1 goal since quarter time. St Mary's have kicked 7. Southern Districts led by 4 points at the first break. Dennis got rid of Cordefa, but Paredes stands in the way. Ross couldn't get there to spoil. Pokes the little kick in, but the one-hander's taken by Sam Smith. Could have almost been 50 against Garner. It wasn't. It was play on instead. Handball back to Paredes from long. Stepped around Brander. Johnston collected Paredes pretty high. Now it's on. They want a piece of him. Players come from everywhere. The umpire's coming in to make sure nothing too untoward happens. Will play continue. It's up in the forward pocket. Johnston's pulled out of the contest now. Some frustration there, you'd imagine. And there will be a throw in the forward pocket, or will there be a free kick? It's going to be a free to Calder after that incident. And so down the field free to Calder, and he has a chance for his 4th goal.
The umpire called the free straight away before even the bit of melee started. Nothing much in that.
I'm just seeing Mark Noonan look like he's pulled his book out too, maybe. I'm not sure whether there's a report or not.
Maybe for the bump, because it definitely was late.
So Calder from the pocket, tight angle, just 20 metres out. He's got 3-4 for the night. He now has 4-4. He's got his kicking boots on now, Nick Danks. You called it.
Yeah.
Took a while. He needed a few sighters, but Jackson's got 4.
Yeah, no, I think they're the same green ones he started with, but he certainly needed to change them there at half-time, and has come out and, as you said, kicked his 4th. 11:9.75 to 5:6.36. 5-minute mark of the final quarter here in the prelim final. And sitting right across from us is the Tigers guys watching this game very intently.
He brought that around beautifully. Started it to the right. Just curled it around and big windmill wave to the fans in the forward pocket.
You also said, Rob, a couple of Southern District guys hands on hips already, and as I said, very hard to get into a grand final for elimination final.
39 points the margin. Dennis swats it to Johnston. Bolton. Clever kick. Oh, well done running back of the flight without infringing. It was Parnell. Sitting under it was Anderson. Didn't get to him. He soccers it off the ground out towards the half-forward flank. George is back on the ground, which is good. Schwartz on the left. Steps back to his favoured right. Low kick. Diving forward, and the mark is taken. Or it hit the ground. It hit the ground. Davies not paid the mark. Cotter spills on top of him. And he'll have a ball up 20 metres out from goal. Southern Districts into attack.
Yeah, he did well to dive to that, but just going to hit the ground. He was never going to take it cleanly, and the umpire was right next to him when he did it.
Dennis up against Conway. Johnston still trying hard. He's a brute, isn't he? A real warrior. Tossed up again. Conway does well to beat Dennis. George can be clever. Ethan Knight tries to sock it off the ground. Just getting a kick away, it was Dylan Lant. His jumper, I can report, is now ripped. Yep. Taj Stanley was too aggressive, hit him front on, and there'll be a free kick. It's just coming a little sloppy now. Team players from both teams. It's been played in pretty good spirit. It's been hard, but as we close in on full time with a big gap, we just hope the two sides can just respect each other. As Dylan Lance wins the free kick. Out to the wing. Cordefa. Delahaye clever. Taj Stanley. It's out of bounds though. So nothing going right for the Crocs at the moment. He was stepping the tightrope of the boundary line of white paint and was just forced out of bounds as the ball came in towards centre half forward. Get a goal or two in the next couple of minutes, you never know. Just don't look like it though. St Mary's are playing inspired footy. That man in particular, Dylan Lant, a couple of taps and a long boot off the ground in the Calder direction in front of Mazzini. Works his way around him. Zach Smith, Musgrove, Cordefa. He's got a man sliding by. Had it just a little too long. Vallejo the tackle. Musgrove was there as well. Staunton, Anderson confronted by two. Vallejo excellent once more. Cordefa wraps up Zach Smith, flings him to the turf. Again Vallejo got the handball out. Anderson dives on the footy over the shoulder. Free kick has been won by St Mary's. The desperation again. I think it might be Seth Harris who'll come up with it. He's being treated for a little bit of cramp at the moment. But they won't be denied. They are finishing this game full of running. And now we see the advantage of that week off.
Yeah.
And maybe, yes, I think you're right, Nick. It's a long season. And while they're extremely fit, these players, they do play in extreme heat. Since the first weekend of October, a couple of those rainy days when the wet season's really at full throttle or a bit cooler, as Offermans receives the handball. He's about to be run down. Something's happened. He's got to come back and they're going to try again. The umpire said, no, you can't do that.
I also think the runner was right in front of the guy on the mark, so that didn't help it either. So We've just moved him off the mark.
Harris to the square. Calder. Big spoil from behind from Zach Smith. Belts it through for a rush behind. 40 points the margin, 9 minutes gone last quarter. After Southern Districts led by 4 points at quarter time. They trailed by 1 point at half time and 27 points at three-quarter time. Been all St Mary's. Tedcastle clever. Into the path of Davies. Conceded some ground to set up play. Davies around the corner. Offermans has been terrific. And he marks 60 from goal at right half forward. He wants someone to lead into the pocket. Swings it instead towards the goal square. And a nice mark taken by Zach Smith in front of the pack. Bowden running past one in the handball. Ignores him and goes to the outer side. Dangerous kick. Big fly from behind. Mark not taken. Jacob Long. Intercepted though by Bolton, who's tried hard. Neat stepping by Cotter. Brown chasing. Cotter to half forward. Ling in front of Barry. Started the game well, but hasn't had a lot of chances up forward. Well done by Cotter. Refused to give up on Paredes. Brown. Little handball over the top. It's going to be a free kick here going to St Mary's. Goes against Dylan Barry.
After losing the stats in the first half of the game, St Mary's, they've pretty much won every single stat, plus 25 in kicks this quarter, plus 20 in tackles, so they've really taken control since half-time. Good effort. Vallejo again. Burgess knocks the ball away from him and sees the safety of the boundary line in the left forward pocket for St Mary's. 11 minutes gone in the last quarter. A 40-point lead to Saints. The minor premiers seem almost certain to go into the grand final against Nightcliff. And from memory, last time they met the grand final, we had to go to extra time. Let's hope that's the case next week. Another thriller. Socked off the ground by Anderson. Bolton, Burgess. Turned over. Conway. Been solid. It's the backup ruckman to Toa. Looks right across the ground to Tedcastle, who's had some flashes of brilliance as always. Davies from defence runs into the pocket. He'll go in the Jackson Calder direction. Instead, he switches play to Lant, had to wait under it. Wyatt Ryan dropped back on the footy. The big Crocs ruckman got a hand to it, and it goes out of bounds. They're peppering their forward 50 at the moment, in complete control of this preliminary final, St Mary's. Beat the Crocs twice during the year in close games, by 12 points in round 3, by 9 points in round 12. They're dominating now. They've kicked 8 goals to 1 since quarter time. Dylan Lance, Offerman's been terrific. Just a boot there of a Crocs player. Might have been Anderson, slipped in. Taj Stanley, Bolton. Johnston to Anderson. Anderson's kick to half forward. Everywhere there's a contest. Brander was clever, waited for the ball, gave it to Ross, had the pace to get away, vacant goal square, bounces it through. They get one back. 12 minutes gone last quarter. 34 points, Nick.
Yep, that's their first goal, as you said, since the second quarter. They kicked 4 in the first, 1 in the second, didn't kick a goal in the third quarter, and now just got that one there. So 11-10-76 to 6-6-42, 12 and a half minutes into the final quarter. Just took his time here with the bounce. He fell over the back. The big forward knocked it to him, and then he's just taken his time and just dribbled that one through. They said for their first goal since the second quarter.
Yeah, beautifully weighted handball by Brander. He and Roy George have kicked 2 goals apiece to be Southern District's leading goal scorers tonight. That was Jonathan Ross's first goal of the night. Toa and Wyatt Ryan. Toa won the tap. Johnston wrestles it away beautifully there from Harris. Then had his kick smothered by Davies. Over the top there. Tapped onto Ross. He could have 2 in 20 seconds. Here come the Crocs. Great goal by Ross. Johnston again from the middle was involved in that play. They worked it across half forward. And Southern Districts got their second goal in quick succession. And it's up to, what is it now? 28 points, Nick?
Yep, 28 points. It's straight out of the middle. And Jonathan Ross just happened to be in the same spot, pretty much a repeat. This time instead of dribbling it, he's knocked it over the top. And
a little bit of life in those players.
Yep.
Cotter was the one that fed it out.
They went missing there for a little bit of the game, but they've a couple of quick goals have got a bit of excitement back into the Crocs.
Big leap early again. Toa stayed down and won the tap for the second consecutive centre bounce. Souter. 3 Crocs around him. Anderson, Ryan and Johnston. Toa gets rid of Ryan. Towards half forward. Brown. Got away from Burgess. Little kick around the corner. Zach Smith. Cordefa. In towards the pocket. Mazzini leads in the race for the ball, but Calder's quick. Mazzini gets his kick away. Into the open spaces on the wing. Anderson gets there first. Played it cleverly. Got away from Ted Castle, who's quick. Aaron lays the tackle. Just knocked him off the footy. Ted Castle comes up with the ball. Finds land at centre half forward. He bombs long in towards the square. I don't think Calder will get to the contest. Smith dropped the mark. Calder throws it on the boots. Off to Cordefa. Surely they'll make something of this. Quick snap by Offermans. That's the sealer if they really needed one. They mucked around with it a bit in the last line of defence, the Crocs. They had a chance to clear it. They fumbled it. And it was Offermans who's kicked the much-deserved goal. He's played a wonderful game tonight. Being their top 5 players, I reckon. Pretty unheralded, but tonight he's been busy. He had his hands on it a lot. Interested to see how many stats he's had, but he's just tackled, he's smothered, done all the 1%ers. And he gets a much-deserved goal to just push that margin back out to 34 points.
You're dead right. He's in the top 5. It's his 15th possession. So it actually puts him in 3rd place for the side at the moment when he's kicked that goal. So he's Land Paredes, of course, having most of the touches tonight for St Mary's, and Johnston and Burgess have been the big ball winners. Burgess had a big one, 22, and Anderson's now on 22 as well. Possessions, he's always been busy tonight, just hasn't been able to put the Crocs back into the game.
Ryan Bolton to Johnston. Running under the footy there was Brander. Ross, 2 last quarter goals. Trying to sneak another one. Schwartz. Stanley into the pocket. Spoiled away from behind. Davies will rush it through from behind. They might get a free kick there. That was pretty clumsy play by Ross. Or will it be allowed to get away with it? Looks like he'll get away with it. Dylan Lant. Bring the ball back into play. Waits favours the grandstand side. Hoffman's waiting at the back, didn't quite get to him. White Ryan does well to come up with the footy. Toa. Zach Smith waits under it. You can see, he dropped the mark. 2 players confronting. One of those is Brown. Smith's kick, it is getting slippery. Bowden had to concentrate hard to make sure that mark didn't slip through his fingertips as well. Delahaye, centering ball, waistcoat, Garner, George, got rid of Knight, won a high tackle, it was. Knight came flying in from the side. George stood his ground, lines up for his 3rd goal. 2 goals, well, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, in fact. Flying out for number 3.
He's had his moments tonight and played pretty well.
Yeah, he's looked dangerous. He's had a bit of time off in the 3rd and the last quarters with some leg tiredness or maybe some hamstring tightness. To bring the margin back to 27 points, Roy George has just tugged the kick through for a behind.
32-point lead. Coming close to time on here in the final quarter of the preliminary final in Darwin. Of course, the winner of this game tonight, of course, takes on the Tigers next week in the grand final.
Dennis and Toa. Oh, Toa did well to get rid of Dennis. Wins the footy. Oh, watch out. Coming hard there. At Garner was Anderson. I wonder if they played at North together. I should have looked that up. They might have been the same club at the same time. So no love lost there, although Anderson there, love and all, was a hard tackle without going on with it.
Yeah, I was to say, didn't go on with it, so they maybe do have been mates in the past.
Garner goes again. Offermans. Staunton. Running back of the flight was Lant. Ross for another snap on goal. It's coming. No, it didn't quite have the distance. Last line of defence is long to towards the back pocket. Parnell very happy to see it trickle over the boundary line.
A bit of skill there, trying to flick that up to the boundary umpire. Didn't get away with it, but a few years ago would have been pinged for that.
So almost time on in the last quarter. St Mary's broke the game open in the third term. Dylan Lant, George, Grant was out of bounds before he got the kick away, so it comes back in towards the forward pocket. The 19.5-minute mark of the last term. Saints have kicked 3 goals to 2 in this last quarter. They led by 27 points at three-quarter time. The margin is now 32 after trailing at quarter time. They led at half-time by a point and have just kept extending that lead. Dominic Grant hacks the kick out of the pack. Cordefa there in from the side. Cotter was good to Zach Smith. Back inside 50. George flies high over the top. A free kick's been picked out. It's going to go to Southern Districts, and it looks like Dennis was infringed against in that pack by Toa. Matt Dennis will line up for his first goal of the night. So into time on. Bring it back to 26 points. Dennis strikes it well. Has he hooked it? I think he has. So another behind to Southern Districts.
It's his second one. He missed the first one terribly to the right, and that one there just hooked it to the left of the post. Breeze slowly picking up it to the right-hand side, across the ground at the moment.
Lant, spearing ball, will be turned over. Taj Stanley into the pocket, over the head of Robinson then. He was looking for Brander. Kick had just a little bit too much on it. So Brander started the game with some menace. He looked like he was going to be a handful for Robinson, who's just stuck with him all night, the smaller man. And Brander, apart from those 2 first-quarter goals, has competed hard, but just hasn't looked the threat. Well shut down by the St Mary's team defence. Toa's been awesome. Got to the front, won the tap, high tackle. Burgess will come up with it. No, Slee, in fact, it is. So Slee wins the free. Out at right half forward, 55 out. Consolation goal being sought. Big spoil from Robinson. Knight spoil. Thrown on the boot by Waistcoat for a late goal. Well done, Stanley. And Waistcoat gets his first for the night. The mercurial skill we know he's all got. Just hasn't put into action too much tonight. That time he gets the late one, and the margin is back to 25 points.
Still been one of my favourite players of the season. He's thrown himself around again tonight, but just hasn't fallen for him. This one did, and this is pretty much what he's been doing. A couple of games where he's got 3 or 4 goals, just wait there out the back of the pack. Good handball to him, and then quickly onto the ball, and a good goal.
Yeah, super handball, wasn't it, from Roy George? Really clever play. 82-57. So Mary's through to another grand final. They'll take on Nightcliff next week. And in the Women's Premier League, it'll be Pint up against St Mary's. So the 2 top teams, both into the grand final at Saints. Vallejo, nudged inside by Bowden. Conway comes in. Dennis, immediately tackled by Garner. Vallejo sends it inside 50. One-hander almost to Cordefa. Gathers the crumb. Lopes around onto the right boot. Buries another one, does he? No. Touched on the line by Mazzini. Desperate defence by Matthew Mazzini. And a behind only. The margin out to 26 points. Burgess. Oh, turns it over. Garner marks inside the centre square. St Mary's just into attack. Pokes into the pocket. He's got Calder. Standing in front courageously, though, was Zach Smith, and he'll be paid the mark or the free. It's a push awarded by umpire Mark Noonan. That was courage. Calder was coming hard on a long lead. Zach Smith's tried hard across half-back all night for the Crocs. Into Dennis. 1, grab 2. Paid. He wastes no time. Throws it onto the left boot. And it's turned over. Running back with a flight was Musgrove, who marks in front of Brander. So Musgrove's kicked a couple of goals across half forward, finds himself at centre half back. Late in the game of this preliminary final, for St Mary's in the second half. Long, solid as ever. Pinpoint kick to Parnell. Wider still. Back to Parnell. Davidson stands the mark. Quite a few Crocs players with taped heads. Seth Harris marks. They can just wind the clock down. 3 goals each in this last quarter.
About 10 possessions, the ball didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Still out at half back. Paridi started it all. Through the hands of Garner. Johnston there, Stanley there. It goes out of bounds.
Southern District led the first quarter by 4 points. It was 1 point to St Mary's at half time, 27 points at three-quarter time, and 26 points at the moment. So the Crocs have won this quarter by a point, but that big third quarter by St Mary's looks like it's going to put them through to a grand final.
Dennis. Bowden barging into the contest. Dylan Lant wants a free kick for holding. Won't get it. Oh, he will. Holding the ball. Pulled it back under him, I think it was deemed by the umpire. Lant goes all the way back to half back again. And finds Musgrove. He can go to Parnell. Parnell can send the ball out to the Michael Long Leadership and Learning Centre pocket. And there's the final siren, Nick Danks.
Yep, 26-point win to St Mary's. So both of last year's grand finalists have been eliminated. So the grand final next week, Nightcliff Tigers and St Mary's. Rob, you're the goal kickers today.
Goal kickers for the winners after a slow start. Jackson Calder kicked 4 to go these 4 behinds. 2 each to Nathan Paredes and Mitch Musgrove, and in singles to Xavier Vallejo, who was magnificent. Jack Lant, Tex Cordefa and Charlton Offermans, who had an excellent game as well. And for Southern Districts, 2 each to Jonathan Ross, both in the last quarter, Jared Brander and Roy George, and singles to Bo Schwartz and Stanley Waistcoat.
And your best players tonight?
Look, for St Mary's, the winners, definitely Jack Lant was busy all night. I thought Jake Tower in the ruck was fantastic. Calder finished with 4, so he'd have to have been the best. Nathan Paredes was wonderful in midfield. Must make mention of Xavier Vallejo, who's really busy and lively in the forward line, set up many goals. Joel Garner was terrific through the midfield, and Offerman's excellent as well. And for Southern Districts, Matthew Johnson, no one tried harder than him for the Crocs. Jed Anderson played pretty well as well. Mitchell Burgess, a lot of disposals. Joe Bolton tried hard, and Dean Staunton, of course, always gives his all as well.
Yeah, good overall performance there by St Mary's. So the grand final next week, Nightcliff Tigers and St Mary's. It's been a pleasure to host you this evening. My name is Nick Danks. Good night, Rob. Good call again. And we'll see you next week for the grand final of NT Footy. Good night.